It's time for some 6/8. A special Christmas edition. Okay, there's my Christmas picture. That's the best I can do for you. It's a CD cover from David Benmont called Christmas Time. Christmas Time? Christmas Time. A nice, a good CD. One of my favorite versions of Carol of the Bells on here. So look that up if you want. I'm going to throw this over here. Okay, so this week's lesson is going to be on 6/8, 6/4, 3/4, whatever you want to call it. We are doing this because, for a few reasons. First, you should know how to play some cool grooves in 6/8 or 6/4. And it's also December as of today. And we want to let you know that a lot of Christmas music is actually in 6. I don't know why. It's maybe a good thing to look up. I have my notes here. I did a quick search before I started this, and it looks like the first Noel, O Holy Night, Away in a Manger, God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, Silent Night, Carol of the Bells, O Come All Ye Faithful. All these songs are in 6. Or they might be written in 3/4 if you see them with the notation, if you buy it in the store in a Christmas book or something. So 3/4, 6/4, 6/8, it's all kind of the same. It just depends on how they want to write it. So, but anyway, all those Christmas songs, if you're playing them, if anyone's playing at church and they say, oh, we're going to play some Christmas songs, you might want to have some nice 6/4 rhythms ready. And also, there's just a great groove. That thing I played first was actually from a song that I used to play. Oh, look, here's the CD in a band I was in called Double Forte. Perhaps you have this CD. You probably don't because I have like 2 copies and they're in my basement. So, but if you have it at home, it's track 6. It's called Where's Bruce Lee? And if you don't have it, you'd have to come to my house to listen to the full version. But that intro that I played was sort of the intro of the song. Wait, who's this handsome devil right here? That's the drummer. Oh, wait, that's me. That's right. So many dreams back in the day. But that's the way it goes in the music business. Now I'm making videos on YouTube. But anyway, that was a song called Where's Bruce Lee? It was in 6. That was the rhythm I played, and 6 is always a fun rhythm to play. I'm also going to mention a lot of other songs that are in 6 that you might want to listen to. Well, why don't I just do that now? Okay, so I have my cheat sheets here. It's a great song by Jean-Luc Ponty, probably my favorite 6/8 song. He's a jazz violin player. It's called The Final Truth Part 1, and it's on a CD called Mystical Adventures. My favorite song in 6/8, probably, but a close second is a song called Children's Crusade by Sting from the Bring on the Night CD. That's a great song in 6, so it's a good idea to listen to songs in 6 to get the feel and the groove. But that's a great one. And then there's one by Toto called Bottom of Your Soul, and we're going to be talking about a fill that Simon Phillips does in that song. It's a great fill in 6 at the end of this video, so look forward to that. And then for some of you worship guys out there that are in worship bands, there's a song by the Newsboys called In Christ Alone, and that is a really good song in 6 also. So any of these songs, you listen to them, you get kind of the feel for them. I know I had a student a few years back that had a little bit of a problem with that Newsboys song because it's just a different feel to play in 6. So I had a student, her name's Anna East, a really good student of mine, and I was talking to her about 6, and that was sort of the start of this idea for this video. So I asked her to play in 6, and she kind of played the basic 6, which there's nothing wrong with, which is something like this, backbeat on 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that would be how probably most people would play 6, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just think there's ways to spice up every rhythm, simple ways, without making it too complicated. So I'm going to give you some examples of that today. But and the other thing she said, I think she mentioned I think she did like a waltz. She played something that's generally thought of in 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and that's sort of considered the basic waltz beat. I mean, it's in 3, but you count it 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If you count it in 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If it's in 6/8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If it's in 6/4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the same. It's just how the notation is on the page. So don't get confused by 6/8, 6/4, 3/8. It's all basically the same. It's just sort of where they put the bar line and what notes they use. If it's the quarter note gets the beat, then it's 3/4. If the eighth note gets the beat, then it's 6/8 or 6/4. 6/4 quarter note, 6/8 eighth note. So don't get caught up in that. So that basic groove, though, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that'll work for most applications and for all those songs that I mentioned. But I like to do a few things. I like to add my hi-hat, so I'm going to play one rhythm in 6/4 here where I add the hi-hat to beats 2, 3, and 5. Okay, we're going to put the backbeat on 4, just like Anna East did in that initial rhythm. So it's going to sound like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1. So besides the hi-hat on 2 and 3 and 5, I also switch the bass drum down to not play so much on the downbeats, but I move the bass drum to the and of 2, the and of 3, and the and of 4. Okay, so it gives it a little more syncopated feel, which I think is good. Sometimes, however, I know I've played that rhythm in church sometimes for songs, and the guitar player, the worship leader, will say, "Oh, play it a little more simple," and that's fine. And but he's a guitar player, so that explains a lot. Okay, but anyway, so sometimes they want that basic 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But why not have a few rhythms? Like I always say, it's good to have a few rhythms, the basic ones, and then spiced up a little so that you can stand out from everybody else who just plays the basic rhythm. So that's the first one. So with some hi-hat mixed in and the bass drum on the ands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's a good one, really simple. It just adds a little life, I guess, to the basic 6/4. And then there's an exercise that you can work on that I worked on a lot back when I was at PIT. And I don't know who told me about it, but I was doing some song in 6. I don't know what it was. But they gave me this exercise, which I think is a good one that I'm going to relay to you. So basically, it fills in all the ands with either your feet or your hands. And it basically sounds like this. Okay, so you're playing bass on and of 1, snare on and of 2, and you're kind of just alternating back and forth. And the bass does also play on 1 and 4, I think. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Yeah. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1. And just doing that gives you a lot of independence to put accents in different places, which is nice. As a matter of fact, that rhythm you can take and just put the backbeat on 6, and you have another rhythm in 6 that sounds kind of cool. It's got a nice groove. It sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's kind of a nice pattern also. You can put those two together and have like a 2-bar phrase, which I'll try to play, and I'll probably screw it up, but I don't edit things, or rarely. So I'll leave the screw up in there, if I screw it up. It's rare, but it does happen. Okay, so I'll play that first rhythm, and then I'll play that for a few measures, and then I'll flip into that that other one with the backbeat on 6. It's also a good way to do those kind of rhythm fills, I like to call them, where you would do 3 bars of a rhythm, and then you would just change the rhythm sort of for that 4th measure, and that becomes sort of like the rhythm fill. Okay, so we'll see what happens. So I'll play 3 bars at a time, and then I'll try that rhythm fill. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. So that's those two rhythms back to back. They both work good by themselves. So that was a backbeat on 4 and then a backbeat on 6. So we have some other ones that we could work on. Let me get my notes. We have a few. Wait, I got more notes. We have okay. We have a backbeat on 5, and then we have a backbeat on the end of 2 and 6. So since we just did the backbeat on 6, let me do this one. So we have this backbeat on the end of 2. It's that same pattern that we just worked on, or that I said you should work on. Instead of just doing a ghost on the end of 2, we just play it as an accent, okay, I think. Okay, so I'm going to play that one. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 and 2, 4, 5, 6, 1 and 2, 4, 5, 6, 1 and 2, 4, 1, 4, 5, 6, 1, 4, 5, 6. So that was that rhythm, a little spiced up a little more with some other things, but still that's the basic gist of it. End of 2 and 6, another pattern, okay? Sometimes you want the backbeat on 5, okay? So, and the backbeat could be all over the place, but these are just some basic ones, but they can be moved all over, just like it can in 4 or any time signature. And, you know, you don't have to be Vinny. Hey, Vinny. Vinny's right there. You don't have to be Vinny, you know, to play these and move the backbeats around. I mean, it's really 6/4, 6/8, whatever you want to call it. It's not that complicated, believe me. It's just getting the feel for it, okay? So we're going to play this one with the backbeat on 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to put some bass drum notes and things in. And basically, again, it all kind of comes from that one exercise. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. No editing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1. Couple of versions there. I'll do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1. So I have these sheets. I'll put them up there, but that's basically it. Cymbal, hi-hat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1. Okay, so those are 3 rhythms, maybe more than that, 4. But the exercise, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 is really the thing you should work on, because then it's just going to develop your ability to play all kinds of rhythms. And then you won't be limited to just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. 1. You can get away with that, but you don't have to. You can spice it up and do some other things and get, I think, a much more interesting groove. And again, it separates you from everybody else who never really worked on it, and they just play this. You can play. Maybe not that fill at the end, but the other stuff you could play. So anyway, work on all that stuff. It's all good stuff. All 6/4, 6/8, great patterns. All of those will work with all those Christmas songs. And also, they will also work with all those songs that I mentioned earlier. And please put those on, because those are great songs, great grooves, great rhythm. That's my phone going off. Again, we don't edit. And all of that stuff is really kind of cool stuff for you to listen to. And if you don't have a good arsenal of 6 to listen to, you can listen to those songs, and that would be plenty. So we're going to talk about that Toto song, Bottom of Your Soul, which is a great song. Simon Phillips. By the way, Simon Phillips coming to town next weekend at Reggie's Rock Club. I know I'll be there with a few of you guys right now that are listening. But if you have never seen Simon Phillips, you should see him. And a huge drum set, great player, great technique. And this is one of the fills he does. I haven't practiced this fill yet today. I should have, but I don't edit. But I might have to for this. But we'll give it a go. Live. You know, again, this isn't Drumeo. We don't edit things. Anyway, this Simon Phillips fill, it's in that song, Bottom of Your Soul. It starts at about minute 5, I think it's 5:30, right around there, after the 5 minute 30 second mark. It's just like a 6.5 minute song, and it's one of the newer Toto albums. Well, newer for them. I don't know, 5-6 years old. But so the fill, it's a 2-measure fill, and it starts off with the first 3 beats are rests. So you come in on beat 4, okay? And again, I'll have this page up there too. But it's essentially this fill. So it's 1, 2, 3. That's the fill. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. That's essentially the fill. It's 16th notes, basically that 2/16 and an 8th note rhythm. 1 E and. The second measure is 1 E and, 2 E and, 3 E and then there's 2 kicks at the end. 4 E and right, and then a big flam. Actually, that's on 5. 5 E and 6. So all those rhythms are the same. It just has a cool feel to it. So again, 1, 2, 3 starts on 4 of measure 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. That's basically it. Now you can fill that if you like the ending part. Like you can fill that whole. You can fill a whole fill up with just those. You know, if you want. I know Anna East likes this drummer called Troy Wright, and we always laugh because he talks about giving space in certain parts of the song, but then he fills up all these spaces with like 30-second notes on his bass drum or whatever. Okay, so you can do that. You can use not 30-second notes, but you can, instead of giving it a little space, I like the Simon Phillips one better, but you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can do stuff like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, you can do that. It's just, to me, it's just really busy. This fill gives it a little space, and I like the dynamic of it kind of shifting into a different gear after the first measure. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I screwed up the counting, but you get the idea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's just something cool about that one to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1. I'm gonna get to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. So I like that one better. Maybe you like the Troy Wright one. Whatever, they're all good, I guess. It just depends on what you like. I like the Simon one. I don't even think Troy Wright ever did that, Phil. It was just it's just a thing about this particular drummer, Troy Wright, which you guys may or may not know. Great drummer. I think he plays with, I forget the name, maybe Animals as Leaders, or what is it, Pliny, I think. But anyway, he just has a lot of notes. He's a big fan of, he's not a big fan of less is more, let's just say. And neither am I most of the time. But so there's some variations for you. And by the way, the Troy Wright lick I just played is just double hits on the drums and then double on the bass. Do that with one bass drum, pedal or two. It just depends on how good you are with your bass drum. So that's it. Have fun with these. They're really good. Talk to me at your lesson about them if you want to know more. And all the thousands of people that email me each week. I'm happy to answer those as well. But, it takes a while to answer all those because, there's just so many. And there's only so much time in a day. So give me a little time for all those email replies. But most of you, I think I'll see at your lessons, and we can talk about that. But anyway, 6-4, 6-8, listen to the songs, rewind the video, get hear me talking about those songs you should listen to. Great songs. Everyone should be grooving in 6-8. 6/4, 3/4, whatever you want to call it. I think Rush has some songs where Neil Peart plays in 3 underneath 4. I think Limelight, he does something like that. So whatever. I don't think Rush grooves that much. So if you're looking to groove, I love Rush, but for grooving, I would recommend some of the other songs, especially that Sting song, Children's Crusade. Such a great song on the Bring on the Night CD. It's a live version. Omar Hakim on the drums. I mean, one of the great groove players. That song's just killer. That's a great one, and the Bottom of Your Soul's great. There's a live version of that on YouTube also. You all know the Carol of the Bells by Trans-Siberian Orchestra. All that kind of stuff. So, you can have fun with that, put that one on maybe, when the relatives come over. Some people, the relatives come over, and, little Johnny's going to play Silent Night on the piano. All the relatives come over, you put on Trans-Siberian Orchestra, Carol of the Bells, crank it up to 11, and then you sit behind the drums, play this cool 6/8 pattern, and, you got to get new shingles for the holidays because the roof is actually shaking. That is a Christmas for drummers. Okay. That's it for today. I will see you next time. I don't have my cool shield. What was I going to do? I was going to put my Christmas shield up to block as I turn off the camera. High tech once again. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use my Double Forte CD. The one that has Where is Bruce Lee on it. The one that everyone should have in their home, but I'm the only one who has in their home. So here we go. There's my old CD, Double Forte. Fused, I think was the name of it because it was a fusion band. And I'm going to turn this off right about, wait a minute, can I find it? Right here.